I'm Tyler Suiters, and you're watching Clean Skies News. There is a new book out about big oil that is making waves throughout the country, in large part because of its author. Joining us now is John Hofmeister. He is former president of Shell Oil. He's also the founder of Citizens for Affordable Energy and the author of Why We Hate the Oil Companies. John, it's good to have you with us today. Thanks for being back here.
Thanks, Tyler.
Could this have happened to any of the other big oil companies, Shell, Exxon, Chevron, ConocoPhillips? Could any of them been at the center of this offshore disaster?
It is every executive's worst nightmare. If you think about what do you lose sleep over, you lose sleep over the health and safety of your employees and the safety of your operations overall. And yes, this could have happened to anyone unless and until we find out what really happened. I mean, there are different companies that take different risks. They have different risk profiles. And you know, I think that what we have to find out is how much of this was human factor. Because if it is human factor, then that could affect how do you move forward from here? How do you take the lessons learned, and what do you do about your management team and your communications and the other things which get into the human factor issues?
One of the comparisons I've seen made a number of times is with the 3 Mile Island disaster in the nuclear industry in 1979. After that, the industry pulled together. It's seen now as a loss for one, as a loss for all. Will big oil pull together over this, or is BP a sinking ship, so to speak, as Tony Hayward bounced out, and that's the end of that, and the big four will survive? No,
it's my understanding the industry's already pulled together in several ways. One, BP is very inclusive in the crisis center. They have brought in the best brains in the industry, the best talent from academia, research institutes, and so on. And the companies have responded with top talent so that they can go in and help, because this is an industry-wide problem. What happens to one does affect all. Secondly, the API, the American Petroleum Institute, has formed teams of specialists to look at the potential possibilities, potential regulatory issues and needs of a post-Deepwater Horizon future.
We're facing what is right now a de facto moratorium on offshore drilling from the Obama administration. 33 or so rigs classified as deepwater are now offline or are prevented from going further. What are we doing to that baseline of energy regarding oil and gas production if this moratorium goes forward and there are simply no new leases approved, more lease sales are canceled? How long will the effects last?
Somebody pushed the political panic button in the White House, and the decision to stop deepwater drilling, all 33 rigs, was simply based upon political considerations, not based upon the nation's energy requirements. The 6-month moratorium, or until the Presidential Commission reports, is simply an extender past the November elections, but it also has resulted in, or will result in, most of those rigs disappearing from the United States territorial waters. You can't sit these big rigs idle for 6 months and expect somebody to just bear the cost. These rigs will leave U.S. waters. They will go to Angola, they'll go to Brazil, they'll go somewhere else in Asia.
As will the jobs.
And as will the jobs, and they won't be back for years, because they'll start a project and they won't pull it off the project just because the U.S. has decided to flip-flop its policy again and go back to drilling. Now, this is a very serious time for the U.S. It won't cost us production today because that was drilled years ago. This will cost us production in 2011, 2012, 2013. By 2014, we're probably down 500,000 barrels a day production because of this so-called moratorium.
The title of your book is Why We Hate the Oil Companies, and it seems that ever since the 2008 oil price spike, I've seen polar opposites ideologically coming together on Capitol Hill, whether it's the Senate Environment Committee or the House Energy Committee. There's a unification involving reducing our dependence on foreign oil. That's the catchphrase. In your book, however, you say that, quoting now, espousing energy independence in this country seems pointless at best and self-defeating at worst.
Well, we're in a global trading system. Why would we exclusively prohibit or try to prevent oil from being a tradable commodity, just like corn or pork bellies or orange juice or whatever it else is that we produce? I would love to see the day when we could actually produce so much oil we could not only satisfy our domestic needs but also be in the global trading market. Right now, I think we are in a very hamstrung position in the global trading market because we're importing way too much. I think that, as I say in my book, we have more energy than we will ever use in this country, adding up all the sources of energy. And if we gave a reputation to the world at large that we don't want to be global traders, shame on us. That's not the way the economy operates.
In addition to being a budding author, John Hofmeister is also the former president of Shell Oil. John, it's good to have you with us. Thanks once again.
Thanks, Tyler.
The book is called Why We Hate the Oil Companies, and the timing of its release seemingly couldn't be better given the ongoing disaster in the Gulf of Mexico. I'm Tyler Suiters, and you're watching Plain Skies News.